Let's talk to Jamie Jenkins, independent statistician, our favourite statistician, actually. Jamie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike. You always got your finger on the pulse with everything, haven't you? I think you should be running the country.
Well, I mean, I wish I could run the country, but not because I want, the power and the, self-aggrandizement. I just want them to stop lying to us. Stop telling us, that the sun is shining when it's dark. Stop, telling us that, we're going to arrest migrants when they're not going to arrest them. They got a guy comes in on Saturday. By Sunday, he's in a hotel in Heathrow. They haven't stopped anybody.
No, and Lisa Nandy, I heard the clip on your show last week, Mike. She was on Sky News, I think, telling us how our energy bills have fallen as well, which is an outright lie. Because if you compare the quarter before Labour came in and every quarter since, energy prices that you're all paying is higher. So they're blatantly going out and lying across the area. The economic figures this morning, Mike, so you've just been touching on those, haven't they? So economic growth's halved, so it's 0.3%, so pretty much no growth in the second quarter of the year. Now, that's more than half from 0.7% in the first quarter of the year. And we did see covers April to June. So April and May were pretty bouncy, a little bit negative. June's bounced back a little bit, but very little growth in the economy, Mike. And one of the big factors in this is actually business investments. That's fallen quite sharply. And when you put taxes up on businesses, the minimum wage has gone up. They've got to look to cover those costs somewhere. So giving the government more money in tax means they're investing less in the business, which will probably have a longer term effect, Mike, because that will kick in future months.
Well, they're talking about basically, higher business costs, as if it's not related to what their policy is, right? And suddenly the economy's not doing very well because higher business costs are affecting it. Well, yes, the higher business costs are because you put the bleeding business costs up.
Yeah, and basically, if you look at what the consequences of these business costs are, Mike, so we had the labour market figures out a couple of days ago. So those were the numbers I used to work on when I was at the ONS many, many years ago as well. And we've seen 157,000 fewer people on the payroll than what we had.
That's a big number, isn't it?
It is a big number. And then you can break that down into a little bit more detail, Mike. So 108,000 fall in hospitality. So that's pretty much going to be where the things are biting. People aren't going out as much because of these increased taxes. They're laying off people in hospitality. But yeah,
absolutely. I think Jamie's just frozen there. We'll try and get you back. Yeah, no, we've lost him. Sorry. In fact, we'll try and get him back because I've got another couple of things to ask him about. Let's get a voice note from Jimmy.
Morning, Mike. It's Jimmy from Halifax. Been up since 5 o'clock, driving up the M1 back to Halifax. Now, these figures that have come out, 50,000 migrants in for the first year of Keir Starmer. The French are laughing. 50,000 in means there's 50,000 less in France. They're just laughing at us and taking all our money. Great show as normal. Keep up the good work.
Jimmy, thanks, man. Jimmy, another hard-working bloke driving up the A1 or the M1, getting back to Halifax. He's already been working for a couple of hours. It's only 7:30 in the morning. This is what the good people of this country do. I think we've got Jamie Jenkins back. Jamie, have we got you back?
Yeah, I think the government are trying to stop me telling you what's going on.
No doubt, absolutely right. I wanted to ask you about another little fact check thing that you did yesterday, where you were, because I'm sick to death of these lefties, right, telling me that, Britain's never been better, the crime's never been lower. Nobody's really, understanding that the country is in a much better shape than all of you kind of right-wing doom loopers are telling us, right? Because they're talking absolute cobblers. Sky News this week tried to debunk what Nigel Farage said about Afghan invaders, right? People who are coming to this country and committing sex crimes. They said Afghans are 3 times more likely than UK-born men to be convicted of sexual offences, not 22 times more likely, as Nigel Farage said. What did you find?
Yeah, so this is kind of one of those apple and pears comparisons. And Sky are not very renowned for doing fact checks, Mark. So very curious why they did this one. So what Nigel did was he quoted some figures that have been calculated looking at kind of Afghan nationals, and then you've got to divide by the population to work out kind of a crime rate. And it came out about 22 times. What Sky did, they took the number of crimes of sexual offences, and then they divided that by how many people from Afghanistan are in the population by country of birth. Now, the big problem you've got here, the schoolboy area, Mike, is that over time, what you tend to find is that the number of people in the country, say by country of birth, and when you compare to nationality, it goes down because people become British nationals or UK nationals. So the thing is, because the police recorded crime data is on nationality, you have to divide that by nationality.
Right.
If you want to manipulate the figures to make it look lower than what it is, you pull out these country of birth figures. So it's completely robust not. It shouldn't be done that way, Mike. And they're kind of trying to make out that Farage is misleading the public, when in fact, the piece itself is Sky News and misleading the public.
Yeah.
So, I think people need to know these things, because it's quite a hot topic at the moment, with obviously the small boat migrants coming over. So I would say, my independent adjustment on this, and I've worked with the ONS on these things, Mike, is that the figure's probably a lot closer to Farage's 22 times than Sky News' 3 times.
Yeah, absolutely right. Great things to be pointed out. Thank you very much indeed. Jamie Jenkins, an independent statistician, former person at the Office for National Statistics, of course, and that's why he knows what he's talking about. And that's why we get him on, because he can debunk all of this nonsense that comes out. I mean, GDP figures showing economic growth has slowed down this morning. It only grew by 0.3% between April and June. And guess what? The government is saying, oh, it's because business costs have gone up. Higher business costs mean that we've slowed the economy. Yeah, well, you put them up, you complete and utter morons. You put people's higher national insurance costs up. You put people's minimum wage costs up. You made it clear that people who run businesses are the enemy, right? And so now, obviously, business is suffering. You complete and utter numpties. Rodney!